In areas where deer roam freely, residents must dress to protect themselves against deer ticks that might transmit diseases. This actually looks pretty good. In areas, and we're talking about what type of areas? Well, these are areas where deer roam freely. We're starting with this relative pronoun. This is the type of areas. Areas where deer roam freely. This looks pretty good. I like it as is. And so I'll go with the first choice, which is always the as is. So no change to the underline. But let's just go through the other ones to make sure that they're not as good or nowhere near as good. So in areas roamed by deer freely, residents must dress to protect themselves, etc. This one isn't as good because this part right over here is in the passive voice. Instead of saying deer roam freely, we're saying roamed by deer freely. So it sounds a little bit convoluted. Most writers will tell you the passive voice, you should avoid it unless you really need to, unless it really does something special to what you're writing. And so I would definitely avoid this because of that passive voice. So B I would rule out. C has the same problem. Areas freely roamed by deer. It's a little bit better. The adverb freely is in front of the roam, so they're closer together. So how are they roaming? They're roaming freely. But once again, it's in the passive voice. Freely roamed by deer, instead of just saying the deer roam freely. So I don't like that one as well. These are both of these are in the passive voice, which in general you should avoid. Areas in which there are deer that roam freely. So the in which part is okay. You could replace a where with an in which, where in this case the which is the relative pronoun, and we put a preposition here to talk about, well, how do we relate to the area? Are we doing it on it? Are we doing it in it? Where are the deer? Well, the deer are in it. They're in which. So areas in which deer roam freely. So this, you could say in areas in which deer roam freely. The problem I have with this one is this part. There are deer that roam freely. There are deer that roam freely is much longer than deer roam freely. Unnecessarily long, unnecessarily wordy. And so if you can get it across in a nice, clean way, you should. And so I would rule this one out just because it's wordier and a little bit more complex than it needs to relative to our original clause here. Areas which deer roam free. So the problem here is we have the relative pronoun which, but we're not saying how do we relate. How do we relate to those areas that we're referring to? Well, or in particular, how do the deer relate to them? Well, the deer are in them. You need to put that in which. This needs an in right over here. Without the in, this isn't right really grammatically. Areas which deer roam free. No, the deer are in the area. So I'd cross that one out as well.